Hello, and welcome to Unit 3. You have just finished Unit 2. We should be well on our way this week, since it is Tuesday, to doing your reading, which we'll talk about at the end of the screen capture. For the most part, there were 71 posts this week, which was good. And remember that the best practice is to have your initial posting completed by Tuesday, and then, of course, to respond to your peer by Sunday to receive your full credit. This is also a great way to practice and prepare for the midterm, which will be February 4th. It will be open to the 14th. Just to kind of start out with some of the posts, I think Dennis was our first post, and he really got into The Luck of Roaring Camp by Mark Twain, and kind of thought about how it represented many of the other writings from the period, but at the same time um, kind of really did focus on this sense of the idea of superficiality, the idea of kind of the surprise at the end, which does fit in the sense of mainstream realism. I also like Dennis's phrase of Mark Twain. What is it? Mark Twainism. Uh, Twain sucky-itis, which was good. Um, Karen's response also to the art of realism. The art of realism is an essay, so it's not really enjoyable. It's not so much a story; it's more kind of telling you the tenets and the basic understandings of the period and of the experience, and it can be a little dry. Henry James can also be a very dry writer too. I like that Karen, like many of you, really did focus on the notion of African American literature and how it really did pull in a different perspective on the time period and the frame. Um, I think there was mention that Dennis mentioned that the syllabus was confusing. Please, if you do have questions, please post them on Ask Your Instructor. Please email me. I'm always happy to chit chat. Um, David did mention that The Art of Fiction was a perfect way to start, as well as Harris's Working and The Passing of Grandson. Now, The Passing of Grandson was interesting because it is not just about the passing, but of course, the notion of the notion of passing in light of your status as an African American. The idea of realism is to capture not just the base elements of reality and of the experience, but really to capture the actual essence, the verisimilitude of it all. I do think that is something that Chestnut does well in his writing. And this was also, of course, mentioned by Corey, who kind of, as Corey mentioned, that he focused on James describing um, that these thoughts, these writings are never limited, it's never complete. It is an immense sensibility, a kind of huge spider web of the finest silken thread suspended in the chamber of consciousness and catching every airborne particle in its tissue. And this idea of writing as a way of capturing reality is actually quite connected to what was going on during the time period. This is, of course, 1840s to 1880s, a little bit beyond that, too. You're dealing with many elements, of course, the Civil War. There was a minor depression right before the Civil War, and it did lend itself throughout the period. And then, of course, you have the other technological advances, such as the telegraph, which was capturing reality in a moment, and also the photograph, which was also something that was capturing it too. So realism, it's not just about this literature, but it was also really about this experience of seeing reality as it exists, and it's good and bad. I love that Dunbar is mentioned and explored. I think Kenneth did a great job of really thinking about, in particular, in sympathy, the struggles, the idea of the analogy of being a bird in a cage, this idea of feeling the breeze, realism at its finest, but still poetic and still capturing some of these ideas. Um, Randolph also focuses on the idea that there is one point, this notion of the moral and the artistic is kind of coming together, and being involved in a different perspective or in a different way. That writers and artists do have the responsibility of capturing what really happened, but they also have a sense of producing something that's didactic or a teaching moment. This moral isn't just about right and wrong, but it really is about being a sense of a quality of educating about life through literature. But morals do also imply a sense of judgment, a sense of right and wrong. So that is not to be completely divorced from these readings. The other, for instance, Kara mentioned the notion that Colonel Owens and Grandis Son in Chestnut's piece does really focus on a sense of dualities and the idea that watching one action from two different vantage points does produce a very different story, and both can be real. I love that Kara and many of you are really engaging in this discussion. I mean, this is fantastic what Randolph wrote in response to Kara, and that is, as I mentioned in the first posting, really what you're supposed to be doing in the discussion board is using this as your classroom discussion, using this as a way to really engage beyond just the surface. The same with Candace, who mentioned the idea that with Joel Chandler Harris is the storytelling is successful because it is told at different levels and you can take it at different specific points as a childhood story or as a moral tale, or even as a local color tale of the South. And the idea of the importance of the dialect, I think, is key because it is about connecting and capturing a culture, but also about taking the story beyond just the words on the page. I think that Monique's posting was absolutely fantastic, captured both the ideas of the readings, but also the evidence and the analysis and the interpretation of When Milady Sings by Dunbar was spot on. I love that Monique wrote about he's in January, it was cold, and she's reading this and it's midsummer and you're hearing it and you're feeling it and there's a visceral reaction to it, and that's a great observation. That is one of the keys to literature, is that it does allow you to have a viewpoint into someone else's experience, good or bad. And in this case, with Dunbar's poem, and in light of whether we're experiencing, it did allow an avenue of freedom, a little warmth into the reading experience. I think Kathy did a great job of also pulling in many of the areas in the analysis, and I would strongly urge you to kind of maybe use these observations or these postings as models. They're fantastic, summary but engaging. I like that the evidence, the quotes are in there. Like, for instance, she mentions that Paul Laurence Dunbar captured the interest with his desire to interpret his own people through song and story, and to prove to the many that we are more human than African. These are good models to use. Evidence and analysis. Evidence and analysis. And also to do that, as Deborah did in both her response, but also in connecting it to the historical period. It is important to realize that these pieces of literature are not written in a vacuum, that they do respond to historical moments and avenues that do contribute to the richness of the literature, but also to the richness of your understanding. So taking a few moments to do kind of a quick what was happening during this time period is always going to be key. And then, of course, I think Anna, and in both her response and in her initial posting, did a little kind of back and forth with this notion of reality, and being the idea that as she is an avid reader, some of the books are just too far-fetched, and this idea of connection is key, and realism, and in a very profound but kind of dark way, naturalism, which will be kind of in our next couple of weeks when we're reading, will fit these bills well. I think we also had some good postings from Dennis, from David. We had Dennis, once again, Dennis did pick up because he had a couple postings from the prior week that he put in here. We had Derek. All of these were excellent reads, and I think have hit on some of the key elements of the unit. I appreciate Willette's focusing on the idea of taking risk, taking these ideas beyond just what's happening. Here's what's going on in these stories, and applying them to maybe a moral teaching, a teaching of kind of something that you can apply to your real life, an ontological teaching of how to be, an epistemological teaching of how to know. And this is kind of the fun part of reading literature, is that you're getting a little bit of history, you're getting a little bit of what you're learning and what you're teaching and being taught, and also a sense of the experiential. So I think overall the postings were really strong this week, and I look forward to seeing this next week a continuation of the strength of the postings. Just to let you know, as far as your readings go, you will of course be posting in the discussion area. We are going to be doing week 3, which is naturalism and African American literature. So we will be building on some of the concepts we've already found. You also, under assignments, will want to go. And in that area, you also see under week 3, you have Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper, which is a great story about a woman and facing some really troubling times. You're also going to read an essay that she wrote, which was called Why I Wrote the Yellow Wallpaper. And you're going to be reading Stephen Crane's The Open Boat. Stephen Crane is probably mostly known for The Red Badge of Courage, but he wrote a very naturalistic piece. It's a longer piece, so give yourself some time. But it's an interesting story of danger on the high sea. And then, of course, we'll be doing Up from Slavery from W.E.B. Du Bois, we'll be doing W.E.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folk, and we'll be doing Booker T. Washington's Up from Slavery to give us 2 different perspectives on the notion of African Americanism and African American literature. If you go into week 3, you will see that there are a couple resources that you can look. The podcast for Kate Chopin is here, and then of course you'll be doing the readings, posting your responses along those lines. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I look forward to seeing your next posting. Thanks so much and have a great day.